my wife and I went to Flagler College, and we're both in the business program there. I worked summers on Hilton Head Island as a naturalist and boat captain, and we decided to come back to St. Augustine and see what it would take to set up an environmental education company to bring awareness to the area for both the locals and the visitors here. In St. Augustine, for most of us that have lived here and for people that have been visiting here, the history is the number one thing that comes to mind, and it's a great element of this area. We mix the ecology and the history rather well. Our focus is ecology, and just a couple minutes on the water with a resident that has maybe lived here 10 or 12 years and hasn't spent much time on the river, you know, with an environmental educator, is just blown away at what they maybe felt like they've sort of taken for granted, and the importance of the area and what goes into the river and what comes out of the river. Our trips are very dynamic. Nothing we do is scripted. We use kayaks. We have small research boats that Cousteau made famous, and now a 27-foot catamaran are really just tools to get us out into the system. And then once we're on the river, there's a myriad of things. There's over 230 species of birds, some of which only exist in this region, some of which are just passing through the winter, so you have seasonal differences. We have a really unique group of bottlenose dolphin that utilize the estuary here. Everyone's very interested in learning about them, and you keep a very responsible distance from the dolphins, 150 feet, and don't spend more than about 5 minutes with any one group. So that's the responsible and legal way to do it. We also have the opportunity to see the Florida manatee, of which there's only 4,000 left on the planet. You could actually, you know, do this trip several times during the course of a day and have, you know, 5 or 6 completely different experiences. One of the first questions we ask people when we get on the water is we explain to them that we leave from the marina and we're in the Matanzas River. And I think just when the people hear the word river, they assume that there's a freshwater element to it. And in our case, it's completely saltwater. That's usually one of the first things we talk about, and people are pretty amazed that you can have these massive, fast-flowing saltwater rivers all controlled by, you know, the moon because of the tides. Also, the idea that whales would come here in the winter, I think, is new to most people. We do get the North Atlantic right whale that visits here between November and March to give birth to its calves, and then occasionally we'll get some humpback whales that come through here on their way down to their mating grounds near the Dominican Republic. You know, throughout that whole mix, there's a number of things that can happen to these animals, both naturally and unnaturally. The thing that we see the most are injured birds. Sometimes they've gotten into some petroleum products which don't allow their feathers to dry properly. Sometimes they've eaten something they shouldn't, and many times they've been hooked by discarded fishing lines. So we'll pick up a pigeon as quickly as we'll pick up a hawk, and everybody deserves a fighting chance. We are called on quite a bit by as volunteers for FWC to pick up turtles that may have been hit by boats or be in other sort of danger. And then also as volunteers for FWC, we'll respond to manatees that may have been hit by a boat, and the biologists need some eyes on it before they come down from Jacksonville. And we do the same thing for the bottlenose dolphin. So it's great to be in a position to use your resources to help everybody else. We've also done some trips for kids that have gone to school no more than 5 miles from the river but never spent time on the river. So that experience with those middle school and high school kids was out of this world. We'd really like to get, you know, more kids on the water for the sake of showing them the river and the importance of the river and getting them interested. I don't think there's a better classroom in the world than being out on a 20-foot boat, you know, watching things go by and talking about things as they occur.